Hello, 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 stamping friends. It's Anne the Stamp Maven. Monday night at 6 o'clock. I decided tonight that you would see me in all my glory when I get home from my day job and I get comfy and ready to do live with you guys. So I've got my best hairdo, but I have to share something hilarious with you before we start stamping. Hopefully you can see this picture here as I kind of bring it in. So my 3-year-old granddaughter Landry drew this picture, and it's a picture of the family. Well, this one right here is me. So she said that she drew me big because I'm a grown-up and I love them very much. Now, can you see right here? Hopefully you can see that. So her mom asked her, Landry, what are those on Guy? And she said, they are my funnels. And I just roared. The funny thing is, when I'm there taking care of the kids, I will do this thing where I lay on my back and I put her up and we play airplane. I fly, never thinking that my nostrils probably look huge. But funnels? What 3-year-old calls them funnels? Well, I just had to share that with you. I'm going to turn the camera around and we are going to get started. I hope that you all are having a great day. Well, hello, Miss Carol. And I am going to start. Let me put the project right here, but I'm going to give you a couple of tips before we start. We are going to be using the new Sending Smiles bundle. You'll be able to order it, of course, tomorrow when the catalog goes live. Excuse me, I am fighting allergies today, so I apologize. Hey, Louise, this is the stamp set, and here are the dies. Do you ever have trouble? The dies come in a package, and of course they have the label on them, but they come attached to this very strong tape, and sometimes the bigger ones are really hard to get off without bending them. Hey, Kay, again, I apologize. Let me grab a quick drink. So what my tip for that is, turn it over, get your heat tool, and just for a short time, maybe, I don't know, 30 seconds or so, you're going to heat up the back of this tape. All right, that probably will do it. Then, when you go, it will just pull all of these right off, and they won't bend. Isn't that cool? And then what I do, let me just go ahead and get them all off of here. So there they are. I get rid of this because this sticky stuff really does not do much for me. Oh, are your allergies bothering you too, Louise? I'm glad I'm not alone. I get these little magnetic sheets from Stampin' Storage, and then I just put them right on there. Let's see, put this one here and then stick this one here. Then I just take a label, put it on here, and then each year I reuse these because some retire and some come back. The cool thing about this bundle is you notice that it's got the word sending, and then it's got the negative here. So if you stamp the word, then you can just cut it out. This isn't the size it is. It'll actually fit in there when you cut it out. So I wanted to show you that tip. Then another tip I want to show you real quick, giving you more for your money tonight. Of course, the stamps in the Sending Smiles are photopolymer. Now, when you stamp with any of our reds, in this case, it's Sweet Sorbet, it will stain your stamps. Not to worry, if you clean it off using your chamois, it won't, stay on there when you go to stamp something else. But here's my tip. If you take a Versamark pad and you stamp it a few times and then clean it off on your chamois, you can see mine are well loved. I just ordered some new ones. You can still use them no matter how gross they get. Then if you go in and stamp, and let me stamp it here on my scrap paper, then you go ahead and clean it off. It will stain, but it's not nearly stained as bad as if you just stamped right in your ink. Something about that Versamark coating, and even though I clean it off, enough of the residual stays there. Alrighty, so that's 2 tips for you tonight. Hopefully those help you out. All right, let me turn on another light here so we make sure we have plenty of light. Okay, here is our project. I've used 4 of the new in colors, and tomorrow on my blog at stampmaven.com, I will have a link to a PDF so you can print it out so you'll have all the measurements. But we are going to go ahead and make this. So, first thing, I've got a piece of 4 1/4 by 11.5 inch Starry Sky cardstock. I'm going to put it in my trimmer, and I'm going to score it using the light colored blade. You want to move the dark one out of your way. I'm going to score it at 5.5. Then I am going to come in. Let me get my piece here so I make sure I give you the right measurements. All right, we are going to come back in, and we are going to cut it at 3 inches right here. Okay, there's our 3-inch mark. We're going to cut it. We're going to save this piece for a second. Okay, then we're going to just take our bone folder that I have hidden here somewhere. Well, I don't know where that bone folder is, so you know what? We are just going to use an old aqua painter. You can use a pencil or anything that you need. Now, I'm going to take this over to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm going to emboss this smaller piece with our time-worn type. So let me go do that. This is a 3D embossing folder. So we're going to do that. If I'm going to just emboss it without wetting it. If you want to spritz your cardstock, that will give you a deeper impression. I am just going to not do that and just have the regular embossed look on it. Okay, let me bring that back in. And voila, right here, you can see that embossed. Now, let me show you. I used this piece of Parakeet Party. It comes in our 6x6 Designer Series paper assortment. Two-sided, which is really cool. You'll notice again on the card, I used both sides, the dots, and then for this little piece, I used what I'll call the plaid side. Now, I'm going to show you exactly how to cut it, but I want to show you, you will end up with this little leftover piece. I did not use it on the inside because I wanted to just stamp this. You could put it on here. You could match it up here, put it here. There are so many different things that you can do with that. The other thing, what was I going to show you? I had another little idea for this piece. Oh, well, it'll come to me, and then I'll tell you what it is. You know, never a dull moment here. So, here is just my template. So, basically, this is your 6x6 piece of paper, okay? I'm going to bring my trimmer back on in, and we're going to use our template, and we're going to cut our paper. Yes, we are. So, the first cut is going to be at 3 3/4 inches. So, let's scooch it down this so you can see. I'm going to butt it right up against the edge. Some people call it the rail, and we're going to cut that at 3 3/4. We're going to set this piece aside. We are going to turn this piece 90 degrees, and then we are going to cut it at 5 inches. So now we have our large piece, 3 3/4 by 5. We have this little piece that's 1 by 3 3/4, which was this piece I showed you earlier. We're going to bring this piece that was left over, and we are going to cut it. This is 2 1/4 from our other cut. We're going to cut this at 3 3/4. And then we have this little square left over. Alrighty. Now, here's the fun part. So, we've got our template here. Very easy, right? So, stick our card back here. So, we're going to take our large piece of our DSP. It's going to go in here. And just like I did on the original one, I'm going to just center it. You could use, pardon me, Stampin' Seal, but I like to use our glue, our multi-purpose glue. Reason being, if you get this down and you want to move it a little, scooch it around, it is much more forgiving than the seal. I do use the seal for some of my projects, but on this one, especially when I'm showing it, I like to just use the glue. Now, this inside piece, like I showed you, rather than stamping this, and I did use this little image, rather than stamping it in all of those places, I am going to just stamp it on this piece. Let's shove that over for a second. I'm just going to stamp it in this corner, and I'm going to show you why. Okay, we're going to just stamp that right there. Then we're going to go ahead and clean that. Still got a little bit of that residual Versamark on there, so you can see there's not much staining. And to be truthful, I really don't worry if mine stain, because once you clean them, it'll be stained, but it won't transfer on. I do have customers that don't like that though, so I like to show you options. Okay, now I'm going to put a little more glue right on this side, and we're going to turn this over, and we are going to put this right against this edge. Then we're going to turn it over, and we're just going to snip this off. And then, see, we can still scooch it over just a little bit so you don't see that edge. Now, when we go to put this down, if I hadn't already made this card, what I would do is kind of get this where I want it, like this. Then I would make sure that my white piece here is covered up, because that's part of the fun fold. Now that we've cut this off, we don't want people to see that, because there's something when you open it up inside the fold. Okay, now we're going to just put that in here. Of course, if you wanted to use the other side of this so it matches, that would be just fine. Now look, I'm going to show you, I remembered what I wanted to show you right here. I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here. Okay. And can anybody guess what I might be going to do here? Any guesses? Okay, let me cut this off because we don't want it hanging. Let me go ahead and chop that off without chopping the paper. Now, I'm going to come and put just another little itty bitty bit of glue, teeny teeny. And let's say you've got a very special friend who's got a birthday coming up. Look what you can do. You can slide this little gift card right in here, nothing bundt cake or whatever, and then you've turned it into a birthday gift for them as well. Okay, so what we need to do just to finish our card now, we are going to take, remember our other little piece that we cut off with our template right here? So it's this little piece right here. We are going to take a little bit more of our glue, and we're going to put that right here on the front. And notice I am going to ooch it over just a little and match it up right here with the inside. Then I'm going to take my piece here that let me make sure I turn it the right way, because you want the words to be let me get my magnifying glass. When I have on my regular glasses, it's a little harder for me to see. So, there it is. There's the A. All right, now I've got it right. Does anybody else struggle with that? Now, when you put this one down, you want to make sure, don't put your adhesive on the right side. You only want it on the left side, so your fancy card will just open the right way it's supposed to without sticking down. Okay, now I have pre-cut our sending. I've used our glimmer paper right here, and I used the Tahitian Tide piece. Let me fold it up here. See that? And what's really neat is where I cut it, it's like an ombre look. So it starts light and then it gets dark. So I'm going to take my little glue again, and I'm going to put the sending right on here. I'm just going to you can use your fine tip glue pen, but when I am demonstrating on my lives, I like to just keep using the liquid glue, reason being, on that multi-purpose glue, ladies, and if I have any gents today, you do need to get that little cap back on there right away. And honestly, sometimes I get to yakking and I don't get that on there, so my glue has a problem. But with the multi-purpose, it doesn't happen. All right, so there's the sending, and I've got my little dot that's going to be for my eye, and I'm going to just put a little teeny bit of glue, and I'm going to get that dot right on there, and this glue dries clear, so you're not going to see it. And then, well, see what I did? Here, I'll show you another reason we like to use that glue. I forgot to put this little guy right under here. So we're going to just pick it right up, and we're going to put our glue right on this side, and we're going to slip it right under here. We want it to be on the diagonal. See here how easy it is to fix your mistakes? It's another reason I like this glue. And then I'm going to get my little dot for my sending, my eye again, put it right in there, and look, it's good as new. Okay, now, ahead of time, I went ahead and I stamped my sentiment. I used the small banner, stamped it in my sorbet, put it in my die cut machine, cut it out. Now, if you wanted to, you could totally pop it up with dimensionals, but since I've got a few layers on this, and I am actually going to send this to my dear best friend from childhood, lives in California, and I'm going to send this to her. All right, so now last little touch, I used the Sweet Sorbet little matte dots, and here they are. So we've got all the in colors. I think on this one, I'm going to actually go ahead and use the Tahitian Tide ones. And I'm just going to grab them with my scissors And you know what? I didn't pull off the, there it is. So I'm going to get that little bit of glue stuff on there, shove this around, and we'll get it right back on there. So that one's sticking. Now we'll just get this one, and I should use my take your pick tool, and that would make better, but I grabbed my scissors, so there you go. So here we have, look at that. Hey, Maria, so glad you could pop in. So here's our two cards. They look very similar, just the different the embellishments. And then on the inside, they do look different. So just a little bit of stamping here. What I love about this card, I'm still calling it a fun fold because you're folding and you're cutting it off. This is so easy. It is such a versatile card. You can use different occasions if you need a sympathy card. This stamp set has sending comfort and strength, sending all the good luck your way, sending sunshine to brighten your day, and then we've got all these images with us in the set, and you can cut them out here. So remember, tomorrow, yay, our new catalog goes live. And this is a picture of it. Most of my customers, I believe, have already gotten it. If you haven't, don't worry. If you don't subscribe to my newsletter, you want to go to stampmaven.com, because in my newsletter tomorrow, I will be including this new chart that gives you ideas of all of the ink colors that you can use with our regular colors, which is pretty awesome. And then also on my blog tomorrow, I will have the PDF and a picture again of this card, so you will be able to print out that PDF and save. Surely, yes, this is a gift card holder on the inside. You can definitely add what I did in case you missed it. I used my template, and this piece here was left over. So I just chopped it up a little bit, put my glue here, and then that created a little pocket to make a gift card holder. So easy peasy done. Alrighty, guys. Well, thanks for popping in. I really enjoyed spending time with you, and I will see you next week. Toodaloo.